There we go. Hello, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I will, I am back, and I'm waiting for James to come back in, and hopefully he'll jump right in. Okay, so you guys can hear me. That's good.
Still no
Oh,
audio.
there's echo now?
Oh, I have audio. I have audio now. Okay.
Oh, good.
So,
There we
uh,
go.
one of the first troubleshooting techniques is to reboot your computer. So that's what I did, and it looks like we're back online here. Hey, good morning, Arthur. Magandang
Good
umaga.
morning, Magadang Umaga. There you go.
so, so are we
Oh,
streaming
okay.
or?
Yes, we are streaming. I am going to, well, I'm getting a little bit of kind of echo and a loop going. Yes, we are streaming.
Hold on. One more thing, Arthur. I'm gonna switch
Okay.
over.
All right.
The My system is set up here. I have a VPN in the United States, and that's how we watch our CBS Evening News every morning here because we're like a 12 or 13-hour difference. So I'm on the VPN right now, and there's a big delay on the VPN. So let me switch over to our local network, which will.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay. That's how things go, folks.
Hello.
Yes, I am
Okay.
here.
Okay. Is the delay better now?
Yes, it's fine as long as I'm on the vMix. If I don't look at YouTube, uh, it's
Yeah.
less confusing this way. So,
Okay, I think it's much better.
uh,
The VPN was actually slowing us down tremendously. I get less than 1 meg per second on the VPN, but I get over 50 when I use the local internet connection
right,
here over the fiber. So
right.
this should work better. Okay, great. Yeah, I can see already. So how you
Okay,
doing?
I'm doing good. Let me welcome you to my show. As you can see in the chat, I've got a few people uh, watching us, and I want to introduce you to all my listeners or watchers out there. This is James Tanner. He's coming from Lipa, the
Lipa
Philippines,
City. Yeah.
and Lipa City, and he's got a great show on YouTube called My PI Dream. And his show originally started when he was building his home in Lipa City in the Philippines at Tierra Maria, and he used some drone footage in his show that quite intrigued me, and I thought, you know what, this guy would be a great guest for my show here. So, uh, James, tell us a little bit about yourself and how what kind of drone you use and how are things working out with that drone? I know you had some issues. Hopefully you had them taken care of.
Okay, well, anyway, like Arthur said, I'm James Tanner. I run a YouTube channel. I vlog on YouTube. Channel he said was My PI Dream, PI for Philippine Islands. And my wife and I are retired. As a matter of fact, is my wife over here right now. She's
Hi,
just
Miss.
recovering. She's recovering from a really bad illness, and she's actually working online right now. She's a school teacher. She's a school teacher for the public school system in the state of South Carolina, but she does this online. So she's on her connection. She's on her VPN that's working well. My VPN is not working quite so well, and so yeah, we retired here in the Philippines. We started building the house here in February of 2017.
Right.
And the point that I am trying to prove, or the tips that I try to give, are if you decide to retire in a foreign country, and specifically here in the Philippines, what I try to do is I try to make your transition a little bit easier. And when I say easier, I show you the actual day-to-day events. These are my experiences from day-to-day, from groundbreaking, and the processes that it takes for permits and the government policies and retirement over here for visas. But for the day-to-day activities, if you're going to build in the Philippines, so that it takes a little bit of the scare factor away. If you're deciding that maybe you want to retire in a foreign country, again, specifically in the Philippines. So I work with the crew. I work with the crew every single day. There's a couple of ways you can build in the Philippines. One way is to be your own contractor, or another way is to hire a contractor. And I decided, since this is my first experience building overseas, to go with the experts. And I hired a contractor, but I also found out that even if when you hire a contractor, you need to have your own oversight or somebody that represents you. So I worked with the crew every single day, from day one until the day that the crew actually departed. Ended up departing earlier than expected, but and I share that type of experience as well. That's enough about my channel. But Arthur's program right here is about drones, and the question Arthur asked me about was what my drone is and my experiences with my drone. And I actually have my drone it's sitting over here in the corner, and I'll show you some of the wear and tear that I had on my drone. But I did research, and I'm not the expert on drones. That falls more into Arthur's department. But after all the research that I do, or have done, I decided to go with DJI. They seem to be the pioneer in the highest technology drone systems out there. And at the time that I bought mine, there wasn't quite the array that they have now. And so I decided to go with the DJI Phantom Pro 4 Plus. I don't know how they sell around the world. I actually bought this one in the Philippines. I bought it online in the Philippine equivalent to Amazon.com. I bought it from a company called Lazada. They're the online. They're not even close to the Amazon as far as offerings, search mechanisms, web search engines, and things like that. And some of the quality of some of the products that I have up there. But DJI is DJI. It doesn't matter whether you buy it in the US, whether you buy it in Europe, whether you buy it in the Philippines, whether you buy it in Taiwan, where I believe it's where it's manufactured. So I went ahead and bought it on Lazada. Spent a little bit more money because anything that comes into the Philippines, there's always customs and taxes that are added to it. So one good thing about being in the US is you really get you probably get some of the biggest discounts on anything that comes from, which like from China, which I'm gonna say, pretty much on the market. 70, 80%, if not more, of our products today are foreign built, foreign manufactured. Uh, so you're very lucky, or we're very lucky in the U.S. to be able to do that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute if we have time, about the upcoming, where I'm going as far as drones.
Right.
So I bought the Phantom 4, Phantom 4 Pro Plus. The reason I purchased the Phantom is at the time it had some of the highest, the best technology. It had the features that it had, and quality. It was the leader in its field as far as I was concerned. I like the sensors, the avoidance for
Right.
collisions. I like the quality of the camera. I like the ability for the return to home feature.
Yeah.
Because you spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money on these products, and it would be a shame for it to go away. You lose your transmission, and then you never see it. I've read some horror stories about that. Well, even with the DJI products, I've read
Right.
it before. But I will tell you, and I've exceeded the specifications of where this drone should have been, and I will tell you, when I've lost transmission, or I've lost control, lost connectivity with the drone, the return to home feature has always worked. I
Right.
still have it here today, which is a representation of that validity. The technology is really good, but the technology is not 100%, and I'll
that's
share
true.
with you some of my experience as far as that goes. But I bought the Plus version because
Right.
the Plus version comes with, and I'll show you what I have. I'll open up
Right.
the box. So I'm sure since you're on your drone, people who already know much about this, the main reason I bought this was mainly for this portion right here, the integrated Android system that's built inside here,
Right.
for the viewer, and for the touch sensor for the controls that you have right here.
Right.
Most of the models that DJI sells or had sold at the time, you use your smart device like
Right.
your phone or your tablet. This one had an integrated display, touch display,
Right.
and I really like that. I really like that a lot. Main reason is because of the brightness and the quality of the imaging on there.
Right. Right.
Because those of us who spend a lot of time with the drones, we do it outdoors. Probably pretty close to probably 100% of the time is you're controlling everything from outdoors. So, and the sun, especially right here in the Philippines, the sun is extremely strong all day long,
Right.
and the resolution and the contrast and the usability of this control system right here is very good.
Now I've got a question. Are you using any filters on your camera?
I am not using any filters,
Wow.
and you can see even without filters the quality of the videos, and I do nothing to enhance the videos.
Wow.
I believe in as much simplicity as possible. So
Right.
my editing software is the editing software that comes free on my my MacBook Air here.
Wow.
I use iMovie. I do all my video with iMovie. Now I had some higher tech editing software that I've used in the past.
Right.
Of course, it comes with a premium. You have to pay for the software.
Right.
And it's good if you are doing this for a living, and you want the absolute best quality that you can possibly do. It's okay to go, but there's a learning curve, as you know,
Right.
with technology when it comes to that type of software. But what I found, and people ask me all the time, what camera are you using? What software are you using? And they want some tips on that. And I will tell you, it's the iMovie that's built into the Mac is actually quite powerful.
Right.
And it's very, for me to be able to put together a production, I'm able to do it quite fast. But no, I don't. To answer your question, I don't use filters. I would like to use filters, um, because sometimes if you're in a situation like you're flying over water,
Right.
and you have the reflection of the sun on the water, you can cut back and you can get much more contrast, and
Yeah.
just the picture will be much better with the filters. But even the filter, did you see my video that I did on Taal Lake and Taal volcano?
Yes,
Did you
that
have?
was the one that really impressed me, especially the distance that you pushed that drone out. I was like,
Well,
it,
let's talk about that, and that's a plus and a minus right now, because DJI, in its infinite wisdom, I don't know, and I think it has a lot to do with restrictions, government restrictions that are forcing the drone industry uh, to actually reduce some of the capabilities a lot of these drones have had in the past. Uh, when I had that was on the original firmware of the original firmware that came with the DJI.
right?
Now, when I first started flying the DJI, I could fly like I'm going to make an estimate of about 10 kilometers I could fly. Like over a couple of miles. I'm thinking it's over a couple of
Yeah,
miles. I don't know. But I could fly approximately 10 kilometers with no issue, and the system worked great. Also, the altitude that I originally was able to do, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was probably too high. Well, I think the FAA probably figured out it was probably you were much too high, because you could actually cause problems with air
right.
traffic. So what they did is they put restrictions. I suspect they put restrictions on the industry, and the industry, probably to prevent any litigation against them, they started reducing the capabilities in the way of firmware upgrades, which basically reduce the height, the
Right.
maximum height that you can fly, and the maximum distance, I believe, that you can fly.
Yes.
I don't know about the distance quite so much, but I do know the height for sure. Because when I did the upgrades on that after that drone shot that you saw at Taal, my distance is it's cut to a fraction now. I would probably say my limitations now. But we live around a lot of uh, uh,
Yeah, a
high
lot of palm
voltage
trees. Yeah.
electrical,
Yeah.
and I think that interference also has something to do with my
Right.
distance that I can fly. But I know I'm down to maybe a tenth or less than a quarter of the distance that I could fly before, and that occurred immediately after I did the firmware upgrades.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's called geofencing, where it keeps uh, drones from flying into restricted airspace such as airports, national parks, like here in the United States. You cannot fly a drone in a national park, but a state park, you could fly into a state park, but you cannot launch within a state park.
Mm.
And the altitude restriction is 400 feet. So DJI has put a limit on how high you could fly your drone at uh, 400 AGL. However, there's a caveat to that. If you have a what's called a Part 107 uh, certification, that makes you a commercial drone pilot, where you're able to fly 400 feet above an object, such as a radio tower, TV tower, buildings, and maybe there's a mountain nearby. You could be 400 feet above that.
Mm.
So,
Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Now, I do know our daughter works for a professional media company in Hawaii, and she has her license. She has her
oh,
license, and
good.
they do things like weddings and commercial type of publications. And but she has hers, so maybe
That's
the next
great.
time she comes here, I'll speak with her about what she had to do to actually obtain her license as well.
Hmm.
That would be nice because it doesn't make any sense if you have a 400-foot AGL, and I don't know, and you have a mountain. Now, is a mountain is zero at the top of the mountain? I don't know.
Well, that
Is that your
would be
ground?
because you're 400 AGL above
Yeah,
whatever the obstacle is,
yeah.
whether it's a land terrain or a building,
Hmm.
any structure, you're allowed 400 feet above that.
Okay, okay.
So
A good deal.
now, when you started building your house, that was about the same time I was in the Philippines visiting a girlfriend there, and we went down to Puerto Galera, Mindoro, which I wish I had a drone there because it's a beautiful area. But I'm going to come back next year, and this is what I'm going to be bringing. I'm going to be bringing my Mavic
It's a Mavic.
Air with me. And
Is that is that the Mavic?
yes, it is. It's a Mavic Air. It's smaller than the Mavic Pro or the Mavic 2. And this is quite a nice little craft. It's a little noisy because it's, the way they designed it. And the battery life is almost comparable to a Phantom 3 or Phantom 4 or a Mavic. And the camera on it is really good. It's comparable to a Phantom 4. I believe it's a 4K camera on it. Uh, it does have internal memory, but there is an SD slot where you can put an SD card in, and I think it goes up to 64 gigs you can get on it, and possibly more.
Mm-mm. Well, I will tell you, since you're talking about the Mavic, I think that's going to be my next upgrade, my next
And here's the
purchase.
controller.
Yeah, because I, the I had problems. I had problems with my controller.
Right? Yeah,
All
I
right.
remember that.
Well, I still have problems with my controller. Remember, the controller was one of those known problems by everybody, and I suspect it's also known by DJI. But they won't acknowledge that they have a problem, and I think it's a manufacturing problem they had with the motherboard, where the charging port goes into the motherboard itself. And what a lot of people have done, they have done a reflow themselves. They pulled it
Right.
apart and done a reflow, and they've corrected the problem. Well, I did the same thing, and uh, it corrected the problem
Oh, that's great.
for the well, no, it's not great. It's not great because now not only did it fix the problem with the battery, it also put my monitor offline.
Oh,
So it might have overheated one of the IC components inside that causes it to fail to send any display now
oh no.
to the screen here. And what I did to validate, to verify, I actually powered this up, connected to the HDMI port on the back, went to my big screen TV inside the house, and I have full. The system still works. It connects to the cam or
Oh,
to the drone itself,
right.
to the Phantom. It does everything, except I don't know where. Since you have a blank screen here, and this is where you touch, I
Right.
don't know where the buttons are. So if you have to be, I could fly from my living room right now if I wanted to. Unfortunately, if you press the wrong button
Right.
and you lose the ability, because it'll give you like full screen and you can't see the buttons for control on there. You would lose control of your drone itself, and then you would have to really rely on that return to home feature.
Now, do you have a Mac tablet, like a Mac Air or small, uh, version of the
Mainly like iPad.
like an iPad?
Yeah, we do.
You can
Yeah,
hook
we
it
do.
up through the HDMI port, and there's probably an adapter that you could take off your monitor there, disconnect it and use your tablet to control the your drone. You're going to control it with the joysticks, but you're going to control the camera on the monitor.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I thought the HDMI was only for an external monitor. Uh, do you think if this has some type of interface? Remember, this is the plus.
Right.
The other one has there's a cable, and I don't know because I don't know the other version. I don't know what the interface is that goes between your like your iPhone or your Android device and the controller itself. I don't. Is it the HDMI or is it a different? Is there
I
like a
think it's
USB
a
connection?
USB because I have a Phantom 3 Advance, and I use my Samsung tablet for that,
Hmm.
and I use the cable for that, and you're not using Wi-Fi, where with the Phantom 3 standard, you're using Wi-Fi, and you have some limitations there. So I got the Phantom 3 Advance, and that works really good.
Well, if you hear or if any of your viewers that participate on your channel here, if they know of using this, and you can either connect up to the USB on the back, the little the mini USB or the HDMI, and it will give you control. You actually control it using like an iPad
Right.
or a tablet or a smartphone.
Yep.
Please share that with me, and that would give me usability. Right now, I have no usability of the drone.
Right.
I did contact a company in Quezon City, north of Manila.
Right.
It's an individual that runs a company, and I asked him about at first I didn't want to do the reflow myself because there's always a chance what happened could happen here
Right.
for me. And he said no, he doesn't do reflow. He just replaces the entire motherboard.
Oh,
And I asked him what the price is of replacing the motherboard, which
it's going to be pretty
it's a direct
pricey.
question, should have a direct answer. If you replace the motherboard, it should be a specific price. And his answer was, well, just bring the controller up and we'll take a look at it, and I'll let you know the price after we take a look at it. And all I wanted to know was, you've done this before. You've replaced an entire motherboard for people. What is the price? And when somebody gives you an answer like that, you have to be you have to be cautious because
Right.
because activities like that, especially here in the Philippines, you'll find that a lot of people aren't quite so honest when it comes to that. Although most people are, you just have to use common sense. And
Right.
he wouldn't tell me the price right off the bat for a motherboard replacement. It either means it's going to be very expensive, and then
Probably.
they'll charge you for what they call an ocular here, or an examination of the board, and then you're already paying money for something.
Yep.
So I wanted to make sure I know what I'm paying. I don't want to pay $100, $200 for something that might not fix the problem,
Yeah,
and
that's
where I
true.
can just go out. Although these are, I will tell you right now, to purchase a replacement for one of these, they're very expensive. Uh, the this is, I think it's 100 or two, between 100 and $200 more than the system, the controller that doesn't have the integrated monitor built inside of it. So,
Uh,
and I think it's upwards around $500 for a
James,
replacement for this.
I just checked the chat, and one of the viewers, 400 AGL, asked a question about what the problem was you were having with your controller. So,
Okay, well, the problem that I had here was when it's plugged in for charging, it would never go above one light. And if you look, this is a known problem. If you Google charging problem with the Phantom controller, uh, you'll find out, way too many people are having this problem, yeah, that DJI won't recognize it. So you plug it in, it you can plug it in for 24 hours, 48 hours, and your only one light will flash.
Right.
So what I did was I pulled the system apart and I checked the battery, and the battery is 100% charged. What it's not doing, it's not reporting to the motherboard that the battery is 100% charged. And of course, what will happen is the system will either shut itself down, or you'll constantly get a warning that says your controller is not charged. You don't have enough battery.
Mm-hmm.
So if you research, if you Google it, you go to any of the bulletin boards, you'll find out an extreme number of people are having this problem.
Right.
And the number one recommended solution is you pull the motherboard out as a specific area that's very close to the 4 LED lights for your charging status on the motherboard. You just do a reflow. You just heat it, and what it does is it basically resolders the connection from the IC chip that's there. But you have to be very, very careful with that, because if you heat it for too long, which is what I believe happened in my instance,
Yeah.
you can either damage the component, and then you don't have functionality of the system. Now, the system, again, it fixed that problem. As you see, I can turn it on here. I'll show you right here. So you see now the four lights are now lit. It is showing the full status now of the battery.
Right.
It's 100%. It's 100% charged.
Oops. You froze up,
If you
James.
disconnect it,
There we go.
what's that?
Oh, you're fine now. Just a little hiccup there in the video.
Oh, okay. So anyway, if you disconnected the power, it would say that the controller is getting ready to shut down because it doesn't have enough battery life.
Right.
When in reality, the battery was 100% charged. Again, hundreds of people are reporting this problem, but it's systemic, and it could be the manufacturing process. When they built this motherboard, hundreds of these controllers went out with this, and I'm an electronics technician also. Many things that I like, and what we call this is a cold solder joint.
Yep.
We're good.
Yeah, just had a little bit of a hiccup there.
Yeah, the network isn't quite so solid right now. So anyway, a cold solder joint is if you solder a couple of wires together or an IC to a motherboard, what happens is that solder joint isn't extremely good. It has like the connectivity is not that good. And what'll happen sometimes when it cools down, sometimes it will do like concrete does. It will shrink a little bit, and it will disconnect from that solder joint.
Right.
And that's what happens in poor manufacturing processes. And I believe that's what happened with this on many boards. Again, DJI is not taking upon their responsibility to recognize it and say that this was a problem and offer free ship. They should offer free shipping, free replacement of the motherboard, and send it back out to people. But they're not doing that. They have a great product, but a great product isn't everything. You have to have good customer support. And unfortunately, I contacted DJI. I believe it was in Taiwan.
Right.
I let them know that I was here in the Philippines. What do I need to do to get mine fixed? And they were like, well, if you're in the U.S., it's no problem. You just send it in, and they'll take a look at it. But since it's out, because I think you have a 1-year warranty on it, automatic, if you don't extend it. And I went out of that 1-year warranty, and I said, that's fine. I don't mind paying for it. But they made it very difficult. Their response to me was that, well, you know, if you send it from the Philippines, when we send it back to you, they're going to charge you customs like a new device. I said, it's a repair. It's an RMA. how can they possibly? So the customer support person that I spoke with, the DJI, he did everything possible to make it very difficult for me to send this in and get an authorized repair from them. So I lost a lot of faith in the organization. I have a lot of faith in the product, even with this problem that I have here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a percentage. Maybe it's 5% of their production line. I don't know. But the thing is, it's a very profitable company, and when you have a profitable company, you should stand behind your product so that people like myself that's going to share with you this experience, that other people aren't hesitant to purchase something like that. And I wish they would have reached back out to me, said, no matter what it is, we'll take care of your problem. I like that type of a customer support, but I didn't get that from DJI.
Yes, from what I've been hearing, DJI has a terrible reputation for customer support.
Yeah.
But
And
luckily for me,
unfortunately,
I
and
haven't
that's
had.
bad because they have a great product
Yes.
when it works.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to share. Do you have time? I want to share
Go ahead.
a story. Yeah, I'm going to pull the drone itself out of the box. Hold on.
Okay.
So anyway, here's the drone, and I will tell you, the drone has performed uh, uh, pretty much outstanding. And what I want to talk about is on this version. I guess you will call this maybe the V1, the DJI Phantom Pro Plus version 1, because they came out with a 2.0
Yep.
on the Phantom line, but I think they've halted manufacturing. I don't think they make the DJI Phantom anymore, the
I
Phantom
think
line.
they halted the firmware update for it. That's what
Yeah.
they did. I
So
don't know if they
I don't
stopped.
know. But anyway, and I think they've addressed some of the issues. But one of the issues, or a couple, let me talk about a couple of issues that have the obstacle avoidance system. Now I know on the 2.0, they I think they added a zone. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. And your guys probably know more about this than me. I think this has like four obstacle avoidance, like forward, backwards, left, and right, or something like that. I think they added one because I think the new one has five. The 2.0 has five, which includes, I think, downward. I think they have a downward sensor for obstacle avoidance. I don't know, but I think they did some improvements on obstacle avoidance. Now, the obstacle avoidance, and I want to caution any of your viewers who might be new to the drone and they're coming to your channel looking for what's the best product for me. And for those,
Yep.
let's talk about the obstacle avoidance. This isn't 100%. Do not rely
Mm-hmm.
100% on the obstacle avoidance of the DJI Phantom series, at least before the 2.0, which this is the earlier version. Because I
Right.
will tell you, I've had two accidents with this already. One was during the beginning of construction here, and there used to be a tree by our access gate towards the backyard.
Yeah,
There
I
used to be a
remember the
tree there.
video.
Yeah, and you see, I don't know, can you see this little damage right here
Right.
on one of the legs here?
Uh-huh.
Not too bad, not too bad. It could have been much worse. But what happened was the tree was doing. I was doing of the house. I was doing one of these things. And you remember when you are flying your drone, most of your concentration is on the monitor. You're
Yep.
looking your forward view, and you're monitoring what's going on with that. Of course, you need to have full awareness all the time of the location and the proximity to any type of an obstacle. Of course, you can't do that all the time because if you have something that will fly 8 kilometers away, of course you can't see 8 kilometers away. You have to rely on the technology to do what it's supposed to do, which is obstacle avoidance. So you don't run into something and you don't lose your drone at a distance, or you don't run into something even when you are within visual of
Right.
your drone itself, and it hits something and it falls because this is an extremely heavy
Yes,
drone
they are. Yes.
compared compared to all the other drones on the market. Now, I will tell you from a height of, I'm going to say, that was probably 8 feet. 8 feet where this one hit. When it dropped 8 feet, it did the damage that you see right here.
Wow.
The damage that you have on the screen. Okay, that's just from 8 feet. And my experience with that, let me go ahead and put this over to the side. That was a learning experience for me as a new drone operator.
Right.
Because it happened again afterwards. So what I did immediately, my thought process said, "Oh, it's caught up in the tree. It's spinning. I don't want to burn out the motor.
Right.
I don't want to." So what I did, I did a kill. I did a kill action. So it would drop, but I didn't realize the impact of when the drone itself would hit on the ground, what damage it would do. So it did a lot of damage. It did that damage right there. I had to do a recalibration of the entire. All the sensors were off when it fell, but I was able to recover. Now, this story is going to move on to part 2 of when I had a second crash at a distance of about 40 feet.
Wow.
The coconut, the one coconut tree that we still have, the mature coconut tree in the front of our house here. I was doing, as I've done with many of my videos of Villa Felice here, the house.
Right.
I do the 360 to show the progress of either the build construction or the yard landscaping or any type of update to where we are in the status of the build here.
Right.
Well, I got caught in that one coconut tree. I didn't see it. The obstacle avoidance didn't avoid it, and it got caught in one of the big leaves, the prawns on the tree, and it started shredding it. And it's like threads. A coconut tree will do that. So I thought to myself, wait. I remember what happened, and it's a very quick thought process. Even for this old guy right here, I had a very quick thought process that went on in my mind. If this fell 8 foot and it did this much damage, if I do the kill action right now on it at 30 or 40 feet up, what's going to happen to this drone? It's just gonna come apart, right?
Yep.
So what I did was I maintained thrust on the propellers on there, and I continued trying to operate it even while one of the props was caught up inside one of these things. And the DJI, the technology that they have for in-flight navigation is so good. It knows when the plane or the drone itself, the quad, is doing all this, and it keeps trying to do a correction inside there to level it off. So all I did was I just used the controllers to try to pull it away from the tree, and hopefully it would sever its connection with the prawn, the leaf of the tree itself. And it did. It broke loose, and it was still sustainable enough for me to do a landing, a controlled landing, and recover the aircraft without it crashing. So that is a testament itself to the technology built into the drone itself, even after a in-flight crash into a tree like that. So it recovered. But the whole lesson I'm trying to explain, if anybody ever has an issue like that where they get caught inside of a tree or any type of obstacle, my recommendation, don't do the kill. Try to recover as much as possible. Try to pull it away to save your asset, because again, it is very expensive. So that's two accidents. That's the only accidents I've had with it. Knock on bamboo. But thankful it's still good. So the drone is still good. The controller is questionable. Unfortunately, again, I'm not sure how much support that I can get to get this fixed, but I'm going to try. I wish I could get the motherboard, because I can replace the I pulled the motherboard out myself. I would like to get it fixed.
Here's another suggestion I think you might be able to use. Get those VR goggles, like the Fat Shark or the DJI makes a goggle, a VR goggle, and that plugs right into your um, to your controller, and on your controller there are buttons to operate the camera, turn it on either for photography or for video. It's all right there on the controller, and with the VR goggles you get a much better perception of where you're flying and your surroundings than you do with, you're watching your little monitor, and you don't have that perspective.
Well, let's
Also, my
that
other recommendation is for those long distance flights, and your wife Ness there, she could be your extra pair of eyes. We call the visual line of sight person, the person that keeps an eye on you, on the drone at all times, and tells you, hey, you need to go a little left or a little right. You're going to hit something like that.
But that reminds me of another story. Remember we talked earlier about the flight Taal volcano, Taal Lake video that we did, and I think if your viewers really like drone shots, you should direct them to that specific video. That is one of my favorite videos on the 500, 600 videos that I've actually published on the site. But the story I want to tell you about that, and it's short. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. In that video, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you or your viewers watch the video of the lake when I came up upon one of the pontoon boats, or one of the tour boats, and then I start going towards Taal volcano, and you'll watch the drone, you'll watch the quad, and it gets extremely close to the water.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
very, very close to the water. Now the obstacle avoidance didn't say anything to me.
No.
And what you're saying, having an extra pair of eyes watching what you're doing over your shoulder. My niece was with me on that trip, and she said, she cautioned me while I was flying, because I'm just looking at the monitor, and she saw the drone out over the water, and she said, Tito James, Tito is uncle over here in the Philippines, for those who don't know. She said, Tito James, is the drone supposed to be that close to the water? And I looked up, I glanced up, and I was probably 24 inches away from dropping the drone into the water. And you'll see, because I cut the shot. I cut the shot at that point. Had she not alerted me, it would have been a segment of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea for that episode right there, if I would have been able to recover that SD chip at some point in time.
Now, speaking of one of your videos was featured on another show called Oz by Drone, hosted by Greg Kuhnert. And I'm the person who directed him to that video that he used on his show. And by the way, he's trying to contact you to have you on his show.
Okay, but anytime, it's easy to contact me. It's the same. The email is the same as the name of the channel, mypidream@gmail.com.
Right.
So if anybody wants to contact me, and I always answer my emails. I might not answer them immediately, because the YouTube channel it's not like a viral success, but it's become so successful, and it's a DIY channel also.
Yeah.
And I have questions. I have every single day. My inbox is full. People contact me on YouTube, right, on the comment section. Used to be on private messages, but YouTube took that away, through email and Facebook. And Facebook, I'm not a real big Facebook person.
Right.
But I do check it every now and then, and I try to answer as much as possible. But yeah, if anybody needs to contact me, mypidream@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to respond to any questions that concerns anything about the production of the channel, as well as any how to build projects for around if you're building a house, or we do plumbing, we do electrical, we do irrigation, we do house building and everything like that. But yeah, and thank you for passing my name on to your friend. And I've had several companies from around the world that have contacted me asking for permissions for use of any of the footage, whether it be for the home construction. Most of it is for the drone footage. A lot of people really like the drone footage of this specific subdivision during this build to the build of Villa Feliz here. And I always give my permission as long as they're using it in the right context. I've only had to disallow one because it was a misrepresentation.
Wow.
Yeah, there was somebody that was doing something for the ecological changes of the Philippines. People doing building, and they used what they were explaining had something to do with people doing landfills in and changing the way water flows and causing problems, and we didn't do anything like that. But they didn't have any footage of anybody doing excavation or building construction, so they used my video, and I had to have that restricted because it was a misrepresentation of what we did, because we follow all guidelines here and make sure that we're environmentally friendly for everything that we do here. That's why we have a cistern and everything like that here. But yeah, it's been the drone shots have been I've gotten quite a response on the drone shots.
That's great. That's great. I wanted to download a couple of your videos, and then I discovered, I don't have enough space on my hard drive, and I'm like, oh, geez. And then I have an external drive. I couldn't figure out how to direct it to go to my external drive, and I'm like, oh, geez. So,
well, I started out probably the first 120 videos that I did. I never expected the vlog to become what it has become, and I never expected to do 100 videos. But now we're around 600 videos.
Wow.
Into a 2-year channel.
Right.
And but so I started doing the same thing. I started archiving every video. When I finished it, I saved the original, the raw material, and then after I got to a certain point and I filled up two terabyte hard drives,
wow.
I was like, oh, I can't afford to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is I had to stop doing. So I have no originals anymore. I'm relying on YouTube and YouTube's archive system, because they back up things and they have copies in different locations geographically across the United States, possibly across the world. I really don't know where they have all the servers. But I'm relying on their ability to archive all the videos, because these are, as long as there's an internet, as long as there's Google, I think these will last an extremely long time, and many years to come.
Now, I have are you going to make another drone purchase when you come back here to the States? Okay.
I am, and we will be departing from the Philippines at the very end of March, about 4 weeks. And we will spend a short summer back in the U.S., visit family. We also maintain a residence back there, do whatever maintenance and upkeep that we need to do that, and then we'll be returning back here. The first of August, we'll be coming back to the Philippines, and then we'll continue with the vlogging of Villa Feliz and any upgrades that we do, tips and recommendation, DIY trips, restaurant reviews, product reviews when we come back. But during that stay back in the U.S., one of my goals is to pick out another. Well, I'm seriously considering the Mavic. I've been looking at all, and what I want now is portability. As you know, the Phantom line, even though they have a backpack, you kind of look like the guy that's walking on the moon. You got this huge life support system, and
Yeah.
it's just not practical to go to some of the places that I want to go to. Of course, technology has improved vastly over the
Right.
last 2 years as well. I want something that, and they've done that. They've actually extended the battery life. I think they originally published on the my Pro that I have here, the Phantom,
Right.
30 minutes of battery lifetime. It's never
Wow.
reached 30 minutes. It's never reached 30. It's reached close. It's 25, 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's about it.
but the Mavic now I think is advertising 31 minutes of battery lifetime. It's a smaller unit. I noticed the props that you have on your model there. They've made improvements on the props. You talked about it being noisy.
Yeah.
It's the ones on I will tell you, on the Phantom Pro, it's noisy. You
Yeah.
are never going in stealth mode. You will always, everybody will know when you're coming and when
Right.
you're leaving and what you're
That's
doing
true.
with the Phantom Pro.
Hmm.
But they've redesigned, and I understand they've cut off quite a few decibels of air wind noise from the quad itself.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. So I I'm a tech junkie, as you probably
Right.
know from all the things that I've done here at Villa Feliz. Uh, uh, so what I will do before I make the purchase, it will be something that's worth the upgrade, and I'm leaning towards towards the Mavic, the one that has the extremely high quality
Oh.
video and still photography features inside.
Right.
I'm not so concerned about a drone that can fly 75 kilometers an hour, but I think that's what the new ones are doing now. I think they're going up to about 72, 75 clicks an hour.
Right.
Um, I want something that produces high quality, that is extremely maneuverable, obstacle avoidance, and and mainly that's fun, So, and it looks like the Mavic is a great candidate for that. I'll
Yeah.
continue to look.
The Mavic 2 would probably be the best one.
The
They've
Mavic 2.
made
Yep.
two of them. There's the Mavic 2 Zoom, and then there's the Mavic 2 with the Hasselblad camera in it, which is from what I
And
hear.
I notice there's many recommendations for the filters you were talking about, and I see there's there's good availability from either the DJI site or from third-party companies
Yep.
that produce extremely good UV filters and different filters that you would need for different situations. So I think this next time I will pick up a filter kit.
Now on this Mavic Air that I have, the highest filter I have is an ND64, where on my Phantom 3 Pro, the highest that'll go is I think 16. So I'll get quite a bit of contrast out of my Mavic Air. Also, another suggestion: get a DJI Pocket Osmo because it has the same camera as the Mavic.
I I don't know if you saw the episode. I did an episode or two. One of my subscribers, I don't know if your followers know this. I don't know how many of them watch the channel, but for those who do watch the channel, they know we have a very high number of people from around the world, from Scandinavia, Norway,
Right.
Denmark, uh, Europe, Canada, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. We have many visitors that come by here to Villa Feliz, and we do interviews with their families. Most of them are expats from different countries who are married to Filipinas
Mm-hmm.
from the Philippines, and they're thinking about residing, or they already have family here, or they already have a house, or they're going to build a house, and they stop by. They fly. I'm telling you, we have so many people that will fly directly into Manila and drive right from Manila after a 18, 20 hour
Oh,
plane trip, and they'll fly directly right here, or drive, rent a hire, and they come here, and they'll come to Villa Feliz before they continue on with their trip,
Wow.
or during part of the trip, their visit. When they have we have a lot. And I'm going to say probably in the numbers of like 40 or 50 people we've had,
Wow.
and we'll do
That's
that
amazing.
at the end of the episode. We're probably going to recognize, because I've annotated I probably missed a few, and I apologize to those who I will have missed. But all the visitors to Villa Feliz here, and thank them for their support and for coming, taking the time out and visiting. But we've even had visitors that have come here that brought the drone with them.
Wow.
The Mavic. I've had a couple of them. They said, "I want you to see what I have in my backpack," and they open up
Yeah.
their backpack and they bring out the Mavic.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have had the Phantom before too. As a matter of fact, we did. I think one of the things that inspired me to get the Phantom, one of our first visitors here came here with a Phantom, and he did some video. He gave me his pulled out the SD card, and I used the footage from that for one of the very early videos on the Villa Feliz series here,
Right.
which stemmed me and stemmed my curiosity, and eventually led to my purchase of the Phantom itself.
Right.
But a lot of folks have come by here, and a lot of folks are interested in drone technology as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, you know, the drone community here has a lot of great people, and I was happy to include you among that crowd. So hopefully you'll go over and watch some of their videos, some of their live streams,
Absolutely.
and you know uh, mingle around on some of the live streams that they have out there. Like on the weekends, there are several of them. There's probably one going on right now, the same time as my channel. But yeah,
Well,
check out Greg
Audra,
Killian's.
I'll tell you that I watch, and I probably visited many of your or several of your viewers' channels, because I always search for information about drones. I'm watching product reviews. I'm a
Yeah.
big the industry that I came out of. Uh, 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 One of my careers was I was a integration engineer,
Right.
and as one of the things that I have to do as an integration engineer is I have to do a lot of research. Somebody will have a problem. I need to solve their problem. I need to invent something that hasn't been invented before,
There you go.
or modify to the specifications of a client, or something that might have been there but doesn't encapsulate everything that they're looking for. So when it comes to drone, I've done my homework, looking, and I go to the professional sites, the manufacturers, but the manufacturer sites will always be biased because they're trying to sell you a product. Where you'll get your best information is from viewers like the ones that you have on your channel that set up, and they give an unbiased review of the product, which is a lot of things that we try to do here, and mainly building materials here,
Mm-hmm.
and techniques, DIY techniques. But it's unbiased. Everything I do, and I share the good experiences with the bad experience, and I like that. I don't like going to a channel where all I do is glorify and glorify and
Yeah.
glorify. It makes me suspicious to begin with. Uh, are they expecting some type of a compensation from the manufacturer or something like that? And that's not always the case. Sometimes you find a product that is so good, and I found products here. I found services here that I can't say anything bad about the company. But most everything that you find, a great percentage of things that you find in products and services are not 100% glorious. There's always something somewhere. So when you do a product review, it's good to have an unbiased review,
Right.
that you can say, these were my successes, these were my failures, or these are the good points, the pros,
Right.
and these are the cons about this product, or something like that. And I like doing that. I like finding a channel. What I'm looking for when I look for a product review, you think the mindset is I want to hear all his good stuff because I'm looking for the good stuff. I think what's more important than the pros, I think, are the cons,
Right.
because these are the things that you want to avoid. And it could do with the product itself. It could have something to do with customer service. And these are what I look for when I look for product reviews. It's really important. And I've spent many hours on YouTube looking at drone video reviews.
I've got a couple of sites for you that are excellent reviewers. Build a Drone Reviewer. Check him out. He does a lot with the Mavics and the Mavic Air. So check him out. And the other guy is Kelly Shores at Ready Set Drone. He also gives really good reviews. He does just about every different type of drone imaginable out there.
Well,
DJI,
do me a favor, Arthur.
Yes.
Do me a favor and send me the links or the name of the channel. It's kind of noisy here, and that's Hapone chasing the security guard right now.
Yeah, I heard that.
But yeah, he slipped out the gate this morning, so he's running the little battery powered scooter cart that they have. He's running them down right now.
Right.
But yeah, send me the links.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And also, if you have viewers that are watching now or watch this video, if this is a recorded and archived and where people can watch this later on,
yeah.
Please have them send any of their recommendations for a drone, the specific models of a drone,
Right.
and again, I'm leaning even with the problem that I had with DJI for customer support for getting this fixed. I'm still a DJI fan as far as their technology goes. So especially if they have recommendations on the DJI line,
Right.
please have them send me either on my channel, either on the YouTube channel, My PI Dream, or on my email, mypidream@gmail.com. I would appreciate any input. Remember, what you're doing there and what we do on our channel here, it's all about collaboration.
Yep, that's right.
You share, and you have other people come inside, share their experiences and recommendations, and then that makes us better consumers. It makes us better consumers as far as getting the best product. And it also, the nice thing about social media is so powerful.
Yes,
It's so powerful. It can uplift an industry, or it can bring down an industry. It can take it can force the bad companies out of business, and it also can stimulate the good businesses to become better businesses.
That's right. That's right. Alrighty. Well, I just want to thank you for taking your time to be on this show, and you're doing great work with your channel. I've watched it from almost the beginning. I had to go back and watch from the beginning to find out, oh, this is where I started right here. So I'm pretty much about 99% caught up on all your videos. And
well, you're hardcore, Arthur. There's a lot of videos.
You're charismatic. You're a great speaker, and I think that's what draws a lot of viewers to your show. And it shows by all the subscribers you got. You're up to 14,000 plus subscribers, and you're doing great. And that's not bad for after 2 years.
Yeah, we have. It's a conservative growth, but it always grows. That's the good thing about this channel. But the channel it's a conservative channel. If we wanted spectacular numbers where we have big peaks and changes, as far as growth goes, or viral type of stuff, then we would do what a lot of people do. They do baiting. They put stuff inside there. Controversial, but we're not about that. We have a specific target audience on our channel, and the specific target audience are people like you, and probably many of your subscribers. Our target audience is people who want to learn. They want to learn. They don't. But what I try to do, I try to do the learning experience in both informative and entertaining, and I try to spin things up a little bit, but never anything that's controversial. Which a lot of people, that's where they get their big, huge numbers, and they make many people who monetize their channels, they make a lot of money doing it like that. But it's not what we're about. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for our subscribers. We want to share information, and we want our subscribers to share information with us, so that we all learn. We all build a better house. We all buy a better product. We find that great restaurant that we didn't know existed in the local community, something like that. So that's what we're all about here on My PI Dream.
Okay, well, great. Couple places that I think you ought to check out is Corregidor and Drum Island, which is a concrete battleship that's in the Manila Bay that has a pair of 14-inch guns mounted on this, it's like a concrete battleship. I checked those out. And, I mean, there's so many places in the Philippines to check out. Palawan and Mindanao.
7,000 plus islands.
Yep. And there's hot springs or so many places.
Well,
that
I'll tell you,
Arthur. Drone and go there.
Yeah, I will tell you. We haven't announced it yet, but we are going to be moving to it's going to be like Villa Feliz 2.0 after we return from the summer, because the house is pretty much done. There are several things that I still have to finish that the builder hasn't completed.
Right.
He didn't complete his obligation here, but it's okay because I can do all of these. But what we're going to do, we're going to do a 2.0 version of the series here, and that's going to move into some other different directions. We're still going to do things because people are still interested in the progress. They want to watch the citrus trees grow that we planted in the backyard. They want to see the progress as things evolve at Villa Feliz here. But what we want to do in 2.0, we want to expand, and what we're going to do is travel. Those places that you're talking about, if you have recommendations like you just did, or if anybody else has recommendations, we're going to reach out. We're going to reach out to everybody. We're going to reach out to the Filipinos here who know their own country the best. And we're going to reach out to those who have come from overseas and have visited. What's your best vacation that you had? What's the best places that you went to inside the Philippines? And what we're going to do, we're going to select from many of those experiences that other people do, and we're going to put it into our perspective and our experiences, and we'll include it with the drone shots, and that should make for some extremely great videos with the drones, because the drones it just adds, it enhances a video so much. It's so important to do that. Not every single time, but in specific moments that will make the difference between good and spectacular when it comes to a video. But you'll see after August this year, you'll see that.
Okay, great.
You heard it here first.
Looking forward to more of your videos, and wish you best of luck, and look forward to the next video. Thanks for being on here. Tell Ness, take it easy, get over a little bug that she's got, and we'll catch you on the next one, okay?
Well, thank you for inviting me onto your show today, Arthur, and good luck. And I'm gonna have to tune in some other time. I don't know how this channel works that you have here, but if you have other people talking, I'd like to watch your channel as well. Do you archive these and publish these like back on YouTube or something like that?
Yes, I do.
You do? Well, do me a favor. Give me today's episode, and go ahead and if I have your permission, I'll rebroadcast it on our channel as well.
Well, that'd be awesome. Yeah, you can edit out that first part there where we had all that technical problems.
Absolutely.
There.
I'm an editing guru. You should see all the blunders we have on the video here. Maybe 5 takes of something before I actually get something right.
Well, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and then you could see the other videos that I have that are not part
Absolutely.
of the live stream, and I think you'll enjoy those. And also, I have a fishing channel called Art's Place Fishing. Uh, Go check
Fishing.
that out, and hopefully, I'll
Okay.
be doing a lot more videos this year for that channel.
Okay. Well,
All right,
wonderful,
so
wonderful. Well, thanks.
you're
And
welcome.
I'll get the closing picture. I'll get Ness involved in the closing picture here as well.
Okay. Good to see you. All right.
So anyway,
Well,
thanks, Arthur. Thanks so much,
you're
and enjoy
welcome.
your Saturday night. We're gonna continue enjoying our beautiful Sunday morning here in the Philippines.
You have a
Okay.
great evening.
All right. Bye
All right,
bye.
cheers.
All right. That was James Tanner from uh, My PI Dream. I hope you guys enjoyed that show. Let's see. I'm going to flip back here. I will. Hey, thank you guys for stopping in. We'll have Greg Coonert next week from Oz by Drone. So, see you all next week. Bye bye.